Kansas City coming in undefeated. Denver coming in 8-1, 17-10. Broncos leading as we start the third quarter. Great matchup. You have the number one scoring offense, Denver, number one scoring defense, Kansas City. Great individual matchups. What's captured your fancy?
Well, for me, there's been a lot of things, but for the Burger King Inside Edge, we're going to do a little Brandon Flowers and Wes Welker. Two feisty guys in the slot all night long have been just going at it. Brandon Flowers set the tone early on with some of these physical plays. Every time Wes Welker would turn his back, he was on his back. Big hit there as well, but Wes Welker did have 5 catches, a couple of big ones. Good recovery on this one by Flowers as well. This is a big first down picked up by Wes Welker. Just been going back and forth all night long between these two. It's been fun to watch, just like this first half, and that's our Burger King Inside Edge. Check out more insights from tonight on NBC Sports Live Extra. Can't wait to watch the second half.
Second half about to begin with Denver receiving the kick. Look at Brandon Flowers, and he'll go to work immediately, as will Welker and Peyton Manning. And the importance of this game, when you think about the division, the winner of this division at the moment would figure to be the number one seed. And even if the team that finishes second in the division has the second best record in the conference, you go all the way down to the number 5 seed. And these same two teams will meet again in Kansas City in 2 weeks. Second half kickoff, and Holiday lets it go through the end zone, and we go to Michelle Tafoya. Michelle.
Well, just spoke with Jack Del Rio, and he told me his offense is executing beautifully. He said the Chiefs have a good pass rush, but we have a good plan. And he said, I don't think Peyton's been hit once, has he? Meanwhile, Raheem Moore for the defense is in the locker room still. Jack Del Rio told me he's not wearing his pads and is very doubtful for the second half, but they don't know what it is other than a mystery injury to the lower leg, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So Moore is out. You look at Andy Reid. His team has given up 249 yards to the Broncos. So this great defense, number one in scoring, on a pace to allow 500 yards to Denver tonight from the 20-yard line. Manning throwing, and it's incomplete. A little overthrown. Eric Berry going to the ground. First half numbers as we take a look at the passing yardage. Denver with 202. And the total yardage belonging to Denver, that discrepancy right there. The turnovers, 1 each, and they came back to back in the first quarter. And that second one by Kansas City after a Denver turnover led to a Denver touchdown. No Sean Moreno gets thrown down. So Moreno's carried the ball a lot tonight, but KC has done good work on him. 15 carries for 40 yards.
Dontari Poe, just watch the big guy inside here. You just can't move him. He has just proven to me that, he is no workout warrior. A lot of people felt he came out of the combine. People didn't know who he was. He played at Memphis State. They'd only won 5 games in 3 years. But he has proven in the National Football League he can play with anybody. And his growth this season is a big reason why this defense has taken off.
11th overall pick in the draft last year. 3rd down and 9. And turning around, and it's incomplete. Julius Thomas had to look back, couldn't corral it. So it's 4th down and a 3 and out.
Absolutely perfect throw by Peyton Manning. It looked like Julius Thomas was going to turn around on this back shoulder at the right moment. Kind of caught his hands, but just couldn't hang on to that one. Could only get one hand back, but it was the spot it needed to be.
Britton Colquitt will send it down toward Dexter McCluster. An angled kick. McCluster has to come to the near sideline, corrals it at the 33-yard line, and then gets taken down from behind at the 37-yard line by David Bruton.
Can we just say what a big stop that was for the Kansas City Chiefs to come out with that kind of a stand?
Downfield passing through week 10. You can see a lot of the short stuff, the West Coast offense. Over 3/4 of his passes thrown within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. and only 5% of his passes to targets more than 20 yards. And there's the passing by distance tonight for Alex Smith. Taking a few more shots deeper.
They have not been shy tonight. I'll give them credit. They've taken their shots.
From the 37-yard line on first down. Looking downfield again. That's tipped and incomplete. Malik Jackson got a hand on it. It'll make it second down and 10.
You mentioned the West Coast offense, but Andy Reid said now that they're in Kansas City, the name's changed. Farmland Fury is the name of this offense now. You know, Andy, he's been through a lot, let's face it, but here's a guy that was just kind of a joy to be around, isn't he? And
you bet.
Clark Hunt, that's what he said. He said the first time I met him, I really didn't know him, but he was just so much fun to be around.
West coast of the Missouri River. Second and 10. And Smith will keep it. Andy, very self-deprecating guy. Very even-keeled through the years. And look, it just, all it took in Philadelphia for him to be the all-time hero would be one time to take the Lombardi Trophy down Broad Street. He just couldn't get there.
They got close.
A lot of championship game appearances, one Super Bowl appearance. They lost to New England. And on to Kansas City, where he's 9-0. Third down and 7 now from the 40.
Jamal Charles, Dexter McCluster on the same side, creating some good matchups down here.
And Smith taking a shot deep and incomplete. The coverage is perfect that time. Mike Adams on Dexter McCluster, so it's fourth down.
Boy, what a great job of coverage by Mike Adams here. I mean, this is a dream matchup against the very quick Dexter McCluster against a safety, and he was all over it. Huge play.
It's Trendon Holiday setting up at his own 10-yard line. And in the punting game tonight, it's all Colquitt all the time. The two brothers. This is Dustin with Holiday camping underneath, and now he's going to let it go, and it will bound into the end zone. So each team with one possession, a quick one. Manning back to work from the 20-yard line. Denver up by a touchdown.
It is a cold, raw, rainy night. It is very uncomfortable for the fans, very uncomfortable for the players. A very damp and raw kind of an evening.
The temperatures have fallen as the afternoon has segued into the evening.
Brady stands in the pocket, fires to the end zone, and is caught. Touchdown.
The best team in America is ready.
It's clobbering time.
For kickoff.
Ready, set, what? Move,
The pitch.
Uh-oh.
The game.
Football's so great.
And The Simpsons.
I'm the worst thing to happen to sports since Fox.
Watch The Simpsons on Fox.
I like the fact that he tried to put a little sauce on it at the end.
Oh, mercy. Manning put it right on the money, and Cruz does his salsa dance.
Push him at the top. Burst. Pass down. Right back down to my line. There you go. There you go.
Flip those hips. Get your hip.
A little bit of mystery theater in regard to Peyton Manning and how he would perform with the high ankle sprain, and pretty good so far tonight.
Yeah, you see all the bandages on there, but this first throw here told me all I needed to know. When you can sort of pivot on that bad ankle and make that throw and not wince afterwards, you know that it's feeling pretty good. I haven't seen any sign. He's been driving off that back leg, but he hasn't been hit either. That's the big surprise. I thought the Chiefs would really send the house on occasion just to make sure they got a few hits on him.
On first down, it is Moreno. A good run this time out to the 29-yard line. Gain of 9. 2nd and 1. Justin Houston making the tackle.
Yeah, and that's the problem, you know, that when you allow this offense to get going like this, and you're probably just not as fresh as you are used to being in a game.
Quickly to the line, quickly snapped. Moreno again. Moreno, the workhorse, seeing more and more action as the season goes on. He's carried 18 times tonight, 54 yards.
Watching he and Peyton work on their passing game.
And they're going to try it again to the outside, and he gets banged down after a gain of about 2 by Marcus Cooper.
Yeah. One of the things we always talk about, these outside pass rushers, but maybe their biggest job is they've got to get up here and try and set the edge hard on the outside. So Justin Houston, all the numbers that he puts up as a pass rusher, pretty good all-around player.
Monte Ball in the game, and that pass is knocked down by Justin Houston.
Speaking of, he almost got that one, didn't he? He was just sitting there reading Peyton's eyes, and I think if he put up the other hand, he might have had an interception on this one. Sometimes you just have to get lucky on those tip balls.
So 3rd down and 9. Drifting left, Manning throws, open, Welker, flag down. 2 flags back at the 28-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
The right tackle, Orlando Franklin, and that will negate a 19-yard gain.
He just got caught on the inside stunt and the outside move by Derek Johnson. He had to stick out his arm and just hook him. You just have to sometimes realize that Peyton Manning, being Peyton Manning, can take care of you. If you make a mistake, by the time they do all that looping and stunning, remember the clock we were talking about 2.5 seconds. By the time you do that, Peyton Manning's gotten rid of it. That was a big penalty.
3rd and 19. Peyton saying to us the other day, you know, sometimes in situations like this, you just take your medicine. On 3rd and 19, this is where you might take your medicine. And Peyton will throw one underneath, and that's knocked down by Poe. So it'll be 4th down.
Yeah. Dontari Poe almost took his medicine on that one. That's a couple of balls now. Poe's right over the center here. And as we're seeing more and more of around the National Football League, if they don't get there on the first move, especially playing against Peyton and how quickly he gets rid of the football, just try and knock it down.
For Britton Colquitt, this will be his 3rd punt of the night. And fielded at the 29 by McCluster. And he gets thrown back by Virgil Green after a 6-yard return. Early 3rd, it remains 17-10 Broncos.
Strippers Cars for Cash continues.
You better get down here a bit lively.
And there's some new surprises in store, starting with tougher challenges.
The noise of it is unbelievable.
And rougher climates. But tough profit still means pole position, and there's all to play for.
Bosh, Wallen, look at that.
The guys are back on the road in Strippers Cars for Cash on National Geographic Channel.
Whereabouts you based? Pardon? Where's that?
Fox Sports proudly presents the NFL. Spectacular. Sensational. But most of all, big, bigger, biggest. The NFL, finally, on Fox Sports.
Take a look at this. It seems impossible, right? You can't always believe your eyes. They can trick you. And that's pretty much what Brain Games is all about.
Brain Games on National Geographic Channel.
Guard the 50, Ed. Guard the 50. Great job. That man had a plan. Good job. Play the game. Communicate. Communicate.
This is like the buzz before a heavyweight championship fight.
Manning Brady 14. I can't believe it. Here we are in 2013, and we're still looking at Manning and Brady, and we're still looking at two guys very much at the top of their game. As Kansas City on first down goes nowhere with Charles tackled to the line of scrimmage. I mean, this has been going on for over a decade, and you would think at some point, okay, we're tired of it. But now it's like it's as big as ever. Manning against Brady for the 14th time, counting postseason next week.
And what's remarkable is that these two guys have been able to keep their teams on top almost no matter what. You know, a lot of changes on both teams. Obviously, Peyton changing teams, and yet all they do is just keep winning. That's just how great they are.
That's Sunday night next week from Foxborough. And that pass is caught by Sean McGrath, the tight end, and McGrath will pick up a first down, taking the ball into Bronco territory.
Sometimes inside linebackers work so hard on the other side that they can lose a route that comes back the other way. So you get focused in on that linebacker, and then here comes the other one underneath. But I have to say, I have been so impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. I don't think I was a true believer. I knew they had a good defense, but I didn't know if their offense could sort of match and play with Peyton Manning. They have been just a couple of big catches away from having the lead in this game.
That was a 21-yard gain. Give the ball to Charles. Exploits a hole through the middle and knifes his way to the 32-yard line. Chris, I think a lot of people with a flag down now at the end of the play were diminishing Kansas City's accomplishments because they have played the softest schedule in the league. Von Miller is the injured Bronco. And we'll get the penalty call as well. They're already minus, or the Broncos, Raheem Moore, their safety. Here's Parry.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's the receiver, the wideout, Donnie Avery.
That hurts, but what hurts even more if you're thinking about Von Miller's injury, that is about as big as it gets. I tell you, since he's come back in the lineup, this defense and quarterback ratings against them and the pressure that he's been able to get, he's changed this defense, although tonight he's been handled. Tonight it has been the Eric Fisher story so far on Von Miller. Watch the hands of Eric Fisher. The big thing that they've tried to teach him since he got here is how to extend those hands and use his athleticism to stay within. He was trying to keep his hands low, and he was trying to corral guys and grab them. He is a work in progress, but tonight, pretty darn good.
1st and 13 after the penalty, and that's tipped and incomplete. Sean Phillips got a hand on it. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Eric Fisher told me this has been the most amazing year of his life. He saw his draft stock rise from a top 15 pick in the Senior Bowl to a top 10 pick after the Combine to the #1 overall pick. And the expectations that came along with being the top pick overwhelmed him early on, he told me. He finally had to just throw those expectations out the window and just play, Al.
And he has. He's a guy out of Central Michigan, 6'7", 306. It's never a sexy pick when you have the #1 pick and you pick a tackle, but they knew what they needed. 2nd and 13. And Smith is going to go down, and that's Derek Wolfe. He beats Fisher.
And he knows it. He got so far forward here. Watch Wolfe out here. Fisher tries to overextend. Wolfe uses his own momentum against him and gets the sack. So go figure. You take out Von Miller after the injury, And it's Derek Wolf that comes up and beats the guy that Von Miller hasn't been able to beat all night.
And we put the kibosh on him.
Sure did.
Von Miller's back in the game. It's 3rd down and 27.
Speaking of taking your medicine.
Smith underneath McCluster. That's when you just want to hold on to the ball, and he does at the 45-yard line. And in comes the punting unit.
You know what's interesting? We were talking to a bunch of the defenders of the Denver Broncos, and very quietly they were like, you know, there's 2 defenses playing in this game out here on Sunday night. Let's not forget that. And they had a little chip on their shoulder coming in here with all the attention that the Chiefs defense was getting. They felt like that maybe they could get their due in this one.
Dustin Colquitt averaging 52 yards a punt tonight. This is his 5th. And it will bound through the end zone. 8:06 remaining in the 3rd quarter, with the Broncos on top 17-10.
Clock is at 50, 49, 48, 3rd down and 3.
Denver rushes 3. Flacco steps up, throws deep.
I looked like I said, oh Lord, Joe threw it. But I was like, catch it, just catch it. I'm like, you gotta be me. I'm looking around like, are you serious? Really?
Jacoby Jones, touchdown, Ravens, and the miracle is answered.
The miracle score propelled Baltimore to a double overtime win. A week later, Jones and the Ravens became AFC champions.
And the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl at the Superdome in New Orleans.
Jacoby came over to the side of the stand. Mom, we're going to New Orleans.
We're
going home.
We going
And I was just crying. I couldn't help but boo and start crying. Yeah.
I'm going home.
I'm going home.
Down by 3.
Minute 32 remaining.
Okay.
Drive starts on the minus 23.
Okay.
We have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Okay. We're gonna kill these guys.
2 minute, here we go. 2 minute, here we go. Guys, get ready now for that Babe Ruth play, right?
(49-13) win. Christian McCaffrey, 4 touchdowns, and if that last name sounds familiar, there's Ed McCaffrey, longtime wide receiver for the Broncos. Pretty proud of his young boy with 4 touchdowns the other night.
Should be.
Yeah. Here's Manning throwing on 1st down, and it's a 9-yard gain as Eric Decker gets forced out of bounds at the 29-yard line by Marcus Cooper.
Yeah, and Peyton Manning is saying, all right, let's get back to what was working. Remember in the first half, we were throwing the ball at Marcus Cooper a lot. Here he comes out on that drive and sets up a 2nd and short.
Back to the ground. And this is Ball picking up 2, and that's enough for a 1st down. Denver Broncos on record-setting pace, 41 points per game, 458 yards per game. And right now with 17 through 2.5 quarters, 17 points. Chiefs have not allowed more than 17 points in any game this season. Manning, and pressure was put on. Got the throwaway. Justin Houston came in to put the heat on. It's 2nd down and 10.
Now, right now, it's Chris Clark who's doing a good job on Tamba Hali, and Orlando Franklin struggling a bit on the other side. That time got pushed right back in by Justin Houston, and that's really what forced the incompletion.
Ball again, the Wisconsin rookie. Short game.
And there's Alan Bailey in there to make the tackle. Remember, he's probably taking over for Mike DeVito, who got hurt early in the 1st quarter.
Up to the line quickly. 3rd down and 7. Pressure again, and the pass is incomplete. Coming quickly through Eric Berry that time on a blitz. Unblocked, came through, forced the issue on Manning, and it's 4th down.
We talked about Eric Berry as an inside backer in some of the dime and quarter packages. That time his speed able to get there. And Julius Thomas took a knock on the outside in that trap coverage from Marcus Cooper.
And he's down. Julius Thomas is down on the turf. But there's Eric Berry out of Tennessee, 2-time Pro Bowler. Last year went to Honolulu, but right now the concern is about the tight end Thomas.
Right at the tail end of that thing, Marcus Cooper came in. Oh my goodness, and you can see that knee hyperextend and go backwards. That was the coverage where basically you think you have a tight end in man coverage and he was wide open, but the corner stops, and everybody, including Peyton Manning, maybe a little sigh of relief seeing that big guy walk off.
Now, Thomas hadn't played much the first 2 years here, and then got the start on opening night, scoring 2 touchdowns, 1 tonight, 10 on the season. And on 4th down, the punt with McCluster back to receive Colquitt's kick.
I tell you, the Kansas City Chiefs and their special teams sometimes have a way of taking over games. Not yet. McCluster's dangerous, though.
Very. Good deep kick, and McCluster will field it in the 13 and get taken down immediately. Beautiful tackle by Andre Caldwell. Be the number 4 or 5 wide receiver, but the gunner on the punt team. Beautiful play.
Fox Sports proudly presents the NFL. This is the sport to share. This is the league to follow. This is the biggest show. The NFL on Fox Sports.
Take a look at this. It seems impossible, right? You can't always believe your eyes. They can trick you. And that's pretty much what Brain Games is all about.
Brain Games on National Geographic Channel.
The best team in America is ready
It's clobbering time.
for kickoff.
Ready, set,
The pitch.
Uh-oh.
The game.
Football's so great.
And The Simpsons.
I'm the worst thing to happen to sports since Fox.
Watch The Simpsons on Fox.
Howard's trying to throw the ball around here.
Hey, man, he's showing me some skills right there.
That's ridiculous. That was so good.
I love the fact that we can score 27 points.
This week on The Tonight Show, well, former President Bush will be there. And Blake Shelton as well, heading out to Burbank. That's on The Tonight Show this week on NBC. Back to Denver. Cool, crisp, clear night. 17-10, Denver on top. As Kansas City begins this drive from its 13-yard line. Good play fake. Good protection, deep downfield, and then broken up at the 40-yard line. Intended for Avery, broken up by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie.
And remember, Andy Reid had him in Philadelphia. They felt like sometimes when their play action goes away, that sometimes Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie has a way of going to sleep a little bit and just relaxing on the backside of plays. That time they motion away, come back and throw it back, and he was up to the task. Athletically, physically, just such a gifted guy. Player of the week earlier this year. for his big game against the Washington Redskins in the AFC. A big addition.
2nd and 10. Jamal Charles. That's one thing I never knew. Longest full name in NFL history, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie.
That's it.
Well, there is Brad Childress, who has been a head coach, of course, in the league at Minnesota. He is the spread game analyst / special projects. And Andy gives him special projects every week, so he's not a coach who's down in the field. DRC was the special project this week.
Didn't work out so far.
3rd and 7. And it's incomplete, so Alex Smith can't get anything happening. Intended for Bo, covered there by Woodyard. 4th down.
Pretty good job there by Wesley Woodyard coming across, and I think Andy Reid saying, wait a minute now. Either that ball was in the air or he was beyond 5 yards or something. Something wasn't right with that. It was a good play by Woodyard.
It's become a punting duel now in the second half. Dustin Colquitt, this will be his 6th punt of the game. His brother has launched 4 from the other side. Holiday from the 32 can go next to nowhere with 5:24 remaining. Thus far, the third quarter has been scoreless. Still 17-10.
In Super Bowl 47, the Baltimore Ravens scored the game's first 4 touchdowns.
Down the middle, touchdown, Ravens!
Flacco play action, throws.
The game's 2 longest scoring plays belong to Ravens wide receiver Jacoby Jones.
Jones makes the catch, he's not touched, bounces up, running at the left hash mark, lunges in.
Jones 8 yards deep, brings it out of the end zone. Left hash mark 10, 15, 20, sheds the tackle, 30.
He could, he will go all the way, Jacoby Jones.
San Francisco battled back.
Spins away, and Crabtree will take it in for a touchdown.
Kaepernick going to roll to his left, trying to get down the sideline. Kaepernick running to the 10, to the 5, he's in.
In the end, a valiant goal line stand proved to be the difference.
Incomplete! And for a second time, the Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions of the world.
It is a cold, raw, rainy night. It is very uncomfortable for the fans, very uncomfortable for the players. A very damp and raw kind of an evening.
The temperatures have fallen as the afternoon has segued into the evening.
Brady stands in the pocket, fires to the end zone, and is caught. Touchdown.
Yeah, bring that hustle up. Come on, we're done. Come on, slap some hands. Come on. Slap some hands, some butts. That means it's time we're done. Get
Andy Reid's not happy even a little bit. He feels like Wesley Woodyard got away with a hold. Top of the screen, Dwayne Bowe's going to come right across here, and if he gets across the face of Woodyard, it's a lot of green grass, sort of grasped around the waist. Andy took immediately after the referee without satisfaction.
Well, Julius Thomas is back in the game. He was shaken up the last time Denver had the ball. They start this drive from their own 35-yard line. And here's Moreno. And Moreno with some good tough running picks up a first down. That's his longest run of the night, good for 11 yards. He's already carried the ball 20 times tonight for 66 yards. Each team in this half has had 3 possessions, and they've all ended with punts. No gain for Moreno. 2nd and 10.
Sometimes you just have to stack it up from the outside in and force that tight end back. It sort of knocks the pulling guard off, and now you're starting to see a few run stunts coming from the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
4.5 to go in the third quarter. Manning to the outside. Welker makes the catch and gets banged down as he hauls it in by Quentin Demps along the sideline. Gain of 7. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for Denver.
That was almost a blown coverage there. Brandon Flowers really just stopped covering Wes Welker, and it's a good thing Demps covered for him, because that definitely would have been an easy one or even a big play.
Manning now 16 of 29 for 218. And on 3rd and 3, take Hallie out of the play, gives him time to hit Decker. Eric Decker inside the 20 to the 14-yard line. 33-yard gain for Decker.
First of all, you have to start with the protection. You know Tamba Hali's coming around the corner, so Peyton Manning does a little backpedal away from that side and buys just enough time to catch the crosser. A little pick play going across the middle. Decker with nobody in sight.
And a ton of yardage after the catch, a category that Denver leads the league in. And empty on 1st and 10. A little floater caught by Ball. And Ball gets taken down by Eric Berry. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
Well, it's just man coverage on the outside, and I think this is Justin Houston just thinks it's a run, jumps up, and there's nobody to come out in the flat to take Monte Ball.
2:40 left in the quarter on 2nd down and 4 from the 8. Inside give to the outside. Bull, touchdown. A little mile-high leap for Ball, who gets into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
There we go. Zane Beadle's out and around and able to secure the edge. Derek Johnson couldn't get there. Marcus Cooper was in man coverage, and Monte Ball, despite having the fumble early in the game with the miscommunication, Jack Del Rio showing a lot of confidence in the high draft pick and giving him other chances, and he has delivered.
And flags come in here as Monte Ball has his 2nd touchdown of the night, his 3rd of his young career.
In formation prior to the snap. Defense, that penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
Not too many men on the field, 2:22 left. Extra point to come. Kansas City, for the first time this season, has allowed more than 17 points in a game.
And they've had their opportunities. You know, they stopped this Broncos offense, 3 times in a row, and their offense just could not answer the other way.
Prater converts late in the third quarter, 24-10. You know, you look at the importance of this game when we talk about the division winner figures to be the number 1 seed, and whoever finishes 2nd is going to probably be the number 5 seed. And there's a huge difference there, of course. But to me, this game was so much more important for Denver, because Kansas City would have a 2-game lead if they win the game. Denver goes to New England next week. Take a look at the remaining schedules. Chiefs get San Diego at home. Then they get Denver and Arrowhead. And then at Washington, at Oakland, Indy, and at San Diego. The Broncos, 2 tough ones coming up. And then the schedule softens a bit. But the Broncos, if they lose this game, would need help in securing the number 1 seed. Otherwise, now it'll be back in their own hands if they win this game.
Yeah, and they're hoping Tom Brady can give them a little help next week in New England as well. And then Denver has to come back to Kansas City. And you know, going into this, I didn't know how this team would match up. I didn't know if they'd have the ability to sort of hang with them. But defensively tonight, they've proven that they can play with Peyton Manning. Now you add the crowd noise to help the pass rushers when they get back to Kansas City. Could very easily be a very different outcome there. Of course, this one's a long way from over.
Yep.
But now you have that scenario that we talked about. Now Alex Smith, who would prefer to play it a little bit close to the vest and not take a lot of chances and rely on the defense, too late for that now. Now you have to go. Now you have to make some big plays in the passing game.
Prater's kick. And this is going to be taken 7 yards in. This is Niall Davis. They send the rookie back there to return the kick. Davis around the outside. And a flag is down as he gets forced out of bounds up at the 27-yard line.
Boy, I tell you, for this offense, this is a killer penalty.
Number 32, return team, half the distance, 1st and 10.
That is Cyrus Gray.
You know, just the lead back coming right up. You see Cyrus Gray right there, and there's the hook of the arm right in that area there. But now you put your offense back inside the 10-yard line, an offense that has trouble going the distance anyway, and now the crowd gets amped up. You're right back into that part of the stadium. You have to be disciplined here, but you also can't play it tight to the vest. You've got to start opening up this offense. This is a dangerous time now for Alex Smith.
And they've done nothing, have the Chiefs, offensively in this half. 3 possessions and a total of 26 yards gained. Smith slings it to the outside. This is Dexter McCluster. Takes it up to the 14-yard line. Tackled there by Kayvon Webster.
Yeah, and it's one thing we haven't seen much of tonight. Jamal Charles and Dexter McCluster, two of the most dynamic players in the game when they get in the open field. And throughout the course of the season, they've thrown a lot of passes to Jamal Charles. Now, a lot of them short, dinky passes, but sometimes you have to give your best playmaker a chance to win some one-on-one battles.
Charles has not caught a pass tonight. And this time it is Alex Smith faking the handoff, and he can run. Kayvon Webster finally stops him, and don't the New Orleans Saints know that all too well? Alex Smith running as he did in that playoff game to lead the 49ers to a huge win 2 years ago.
Well, once the defensive end, in this case outside linebacker Von Miller, commits down, then the quarterback just simply makes that read and he's gone. That play has been there on several occasions. One time earlier they ran it when it wasn't there.
From the 31-yard line. Give it to Charles. Denver's done a good job bottling Charles up tonight. Charles has now carried the ball 14 times for 68 yards, but 35 of those 68 yards came on one carry.
But that's when he's so dangerous. You know, I mean, here's a guy, he's so fast, he can start from where the right tackle is and end up breaking outside the left tackle. So that's the problem you have if you try and pursue too hard from the backside.
Closing minute of the third quarter, 2nd and 5. Charles again. Around the right side, picks up the first down. Tackled by Duke Iheanacho. And the end of the quarter.
Isn't it interesting, though, that here
they
they were, that, you know, we're thinking, boy, they've got to get to their passing game. What have they done? Run down the field. And that's really who they are.
And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. So Kansas City on the move, down by 2 touchdowns. End of 3. Denver 24, KC 10. And Sunday Night Football back after these messages.
Breeze keeps it, throws it for the touchdown. That's Hill, his first. So 2nd down and 15 after the interception by Brooks. Kaepernick out to his right. Stops, throws, Davis, touchdown! A 31-yard try to win it for the Saints to go to 8-2. He's got it. Saints win it 23-20.
You vote for Kelly Pickler? You voted for Kelly Pickler?
No, there's no way.
Come on.
I always said if
Check your
Kobe's
phone
not
records.
going to win it, if Kobe's not going to win it, after
See,
all my
you're a
tweets,
you're a politician.
helping
You're
me
like
out.
you're like Anthony Weiner. You put something out there, then you got to call it back, and then you get caught again. Deny, deny, deny.
What's your weigh in at today, man? Look like you're enjoying this camp food, man. You all right?
How many pork chops you have last night?
Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Geico as you look at downtown Denver, the Colorado State capital, on a sparkling and cool Sunday night. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya back at Sports Authority Field. We start the 4th quarter. Denver up by 2 touchdowns, but Kansas City, good looking drive to end the 3rd. And they begin the 4th with a 1st down at the 45-yard line. And nothing happening on the inside handoff here to Jamal Charles. Malik Jackson's had a nice night right there to stop him. 2nd down.
You know, the one team to beat Denver this year was the Indianapolis Colts, and they did it by sticking to the run even when it was sort of uncomfortable to stick to the run. Unfortunately, those 1-yard 1st down runs kind of changes the complexion of things.
Smith out of the pistol on a 2nd and 9. Throws, and it's caught by McCluster on the run. Enough for a 1st down before he strides out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a gutsy throw by Alex Smith. Watch the hit he takes as soon as this ball comes out of his hands, but he did not flinch on the throw. Throws it all the way back across the grain. Knew he was going to take one right in the chops there by Malik Jackson. That's a big 1st down.
Jackson's been all over the place. Kansas City, this drive began back at their own 8. Running back now is the rookie Davis. Give it to him. Gain of 3 to the 41.
There's Doug Peterson, the offensive coordinator, and he's a guy that played quarterback for Andy Reid in Green Bay. He also followed him on to Philadelphia. Ends up as the offensive coordinator here, and he says, I try to see this game through Alex Smith's eyes. He said, I've stood in the pocket. I've been under the pass rush. I understand what he's going through as a quarterback in this offense, and I think it certainly has helped him.
Doug backed up Brett Favre for a number of seasons in Green Bay. 2nd and 7. Smith rolling, and he's going to run, and you know he can run, and he slides to a stop at the 31, but a penalty marker. Back at the 50-yard line, and it's going to come back.
Holding, offense, number 84, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Tight end Sean McGrath.
And this hurts because I think Alex Smith was going to outrun this one anyway. Here he is right here, and you'll see him just grab a little jersey, and nice job there by the veteran Sean Phillips throwing his hands in the air and saying, come on, ref, throw it.
Back to the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 17. And there's Phillips who needs attention on the Denver sideline. Robert Ayers takes his spot, number 91.
Got Trevathan on the outside against Jamal Charles all the way at the top.
And the pass to the slot man. McCluster is incomplete. Quentin Jammer with the coverage. It'll be 3rd down and 17.
This is just a bad play, in my opinion, by Alex Smith. You got one-on-one with your guy, one of the fastest guys in football against a linebacker, you have to take that shot every time. No matter what else is happening on the field, when you see that, you've got to try it.
Charles on the sideline on 3rd and 17. Fake to Davis. Screen set up. That's caught. Fasano, the tight end, and gets banged down at the 41-yard line. Hit hard by Chris Harris. Now it's 4th and 7.
I tell you, this has been some of the biggest hits by defensive backs I've seen in a game all season this year. These guys have just laid the wood to some big tight end types. Chris Harris there. We've seen Dookie and Nacho. These are some pretty good shots right there. But regardless, Al, that was a successful drive by the Kansas City Chiefs to come off their goal line and now hopefully punt it down inside the 10 or maybe even inside the 5 and let this defense go to work.
Wes Welker drops back to receive Colquitt's kick. And he's going to let it go, and it bounds into the end zone with 11 minutes and 48 seconds left in the 4th. And the Broncos on top 24-10 in Denver.
Fox Sports proudly presents the NFL. This is the sport to share. This is the league to follow. This is the biggest show. The NFL on Fox Sports.
Strippers Cars for Cash continues.
You better get down here a bit lively.
And there's some new surprises in store, starting with tougher challenges.
The noise of it is unbelievable.
And rougher climates. But top profit still means pole position, and there's all to play for.
Bosh, Holland, look at that.
The guys are back on the road in Strippers Cars for Cash on National Geographic Channel.
Whereabouts you based? Pardon? Where's that?
Bring that hustle up. Come on, we're done. Come on, slap some hands. Come on. Slap some hands, some butts. That means it's time we're done.
Get your big off here. Let's go. Come on, come on. Fight through adversity. When something bad happens, okay, can you step up and be a man and make the next play when your number's called?
As John Lennon said, every day and every way.
Aspen was telling me that the snow up there is great.
Perfect is what he told me.
Unbelievable.
Flawless.
There it is. Sparkling.
Mayor Hayes soon.
From the 20-yard line, the Broncos start this drive with a 2-yard run by Monte Ball. Justin Houston makes the tackle. 2nd and 8.
It's kind of interesting talking to Peyton about his sort of change in routine this year. Going to bed now at 9 o'clock, multitasking, watching film while he's in the cold tank now on his iPad. Kind of an interesting technological process that he's going through.
In the rocking chair, puppy at his feet, slippers on. Welker makes the catch all the way out to the 41-yard line. And the ball is loose. Wes Welker down. The Broncos are saying he was down. Nothing yet from the officials.
Walker's going to come out of there with it, too.
Yep.
Boy, that has been some matchup between he and Brandon Flowers all night long. All that pushing and shoving and stuff, and this time Walker, that patented little outcut, and then Flowers slips down, and it was on after that. Pretty remarkable, isn't it? That guy, that undrafted.
very close. And meanwhile, Welker needs some attention for the injury timeout here.
Fox Sports proudly presents the NFL. This is the sport to share. This is the league to follow. This is the biggest show. The NFL on Fox Sports.
The best team in America is ready
It's clobbering time.
for kickoff.
Ready, set, fight.
The pitch.
Uh-oh.
The game.
Football's so great.
And The Simpsons.
I'm the worst thing to happen to sports since Fox.
Watch The Simpsons on Fox.
I ate those raisins. You know?
That was terrible.
They didn't taste very good at all, but you know what? I got like gas, man.
Yeah.
It's just tearing me up right now.
What we got going on over there? Oh, they're taking a picture. Oh, yeah. Aww. So cute.
So Andy Reid has the challenge flag. The question is, was it a fumble? But more importantly, even if it was, who recovered it? There has to be a clear recovery. Andy's going to put the challenge flag away because Welker actually came out of that pile with the ball. He may not have been down before the ball came out, and it looked like Derek Johnson had it for just a second, but Welker came out of the pile with it. So Reid puts the challenge flag away, and play resumes now from the 42-yard line on first down. Ball for a couple. Let's go back and look at the Welker play.
The ball's going to come out and start moving right here. That ball is on the move, and he never really gains control. So that's a fumble in my mind. Derek Johnson now is going to pick it up. He has both hands on the ball, but right there when his knee goes down, we can't really tell who has the ball because ultimately Wes Welker comes out of there with it. Now, how he did that, I have no idea.
And he got hurt on the play and needed some time, and back on the bench, 2nd down and 7. Manning over the middle. Decker gets free for a big gain into Chiefs territory.
This is just what makes playing against Peyton Manning in this offense so hard because you get these pick plays going. And in man coverage, when you have to run behind the guy coming across the field, you want to say it's just not fair. There's just no way to cover him. But he gets the ball out so quickly and that happens so fast, it's just almost impossible to cover.
Gain of 17. Decker's caught 4 for 67 tonight.
Starting to come up in some pressure sets now.
And Manning down the sideline a little too far for Andre Caldwell. First time he's been targeted tonight. He made a great special teams play before. 2nd and 10. The Broncos 115 points in the 4th quarter this season, and the Chiefs have allowed only 17.
Well, we are right on the fringe here of field goal territory, and a field goal here makes it a 3-score game.
Welker is back in. 2nd and 10. And Manning will throw. Ball makes the catch, breaks the tackle, gets a first down. And that'll chew up some clock here. Kendrick Lewis makes the stop. Under 9 minutes to play.
Well, coming off the edge, there's Orlando Franklin getting it done again, but this has been a bit of a coming out party for Monte Ball tonight, not just with his red zone stuff, but now as a receiver as well. In a big game.
And Manning, he's so masterful at this. No huddle, but he knows it's time to chew up the clock, so he takes the play clock all the way to 1. And Monte Ball picks up a yard. He just took 40 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and really it's been interesting for me to watch. So many defenses try and match everything Peyton's doing. Every audible, they'll move, they'll shift. The Kansas City Chiefs, they've sat in their defense, and you can do whatever you want as long as you want, and they haven't reacted to it at all. And really had a good game tonight against this high-scoring offense.
Manning 21 of 35 now. Peyton 305. Inside play fake, and then the pass is incomplete, intended for Demaryius Thomas. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Well, the one thing about Peyton tonight, if ever protection was hugely important with that high ankle sprain, tonight would be the night. Look at that. No sacks, been hit twice, hasn't been knocked down at all. They've done the job, the offensive line. And that's caught by Welker, and Welker's going to get hogtied before he can get the first down. Out of bounds at the 18, Brandon Flowers. And now Manning looking over to the bench saying, let's go for it. 4th and 1.
No way. No way you go for this. Maybe you try and draw them off sides here. But you have to make this a 3-score game, don't you?
You would think, but you know, I wonder if Del Rio's having a mind meld with John Fox.
John Fox might be having a mind meld of his own right now.
Foxy, what are you thinking back there?
No way. This is not happening.
And you're right, timeout.
No way.
And it's exactly right. This is when you have to just do the math. It's a three possession game that's in play here. It's 4th down and 1. Manning's going to come over for the moment. They still haven't sent out the field goal group. Now we're going to see Peyton next week. And it's going to be in Foxborough as the field goal unit does come out now. Manning Brady, it's the Patriots and the Broncos. It's Sunday night football. All getting underway with football night in America at 7 Eastern time. So now Prater will come out. I would have died to know what John Fox was thinking.
I guarantee you. He had the clicker and he was thinking about going to some soap opera somewhere.
Yep. 36-yard field goal attempt to try to make it a 17-point game. Britton Colquitt to do the holding. And the kick is good. He kicked a screwball through the upright. 7:06 to go in the 4th. Denver 27 and Kansas City 10.
In Super Bowl 47, the Baltimore Ravens scored the game's first 4 touchdowns.
Down the middle, touchdown, Ravens! Flacco play action, throws.
The game's 2 longest scoring plays belong to Ravens wide receiver Jacoby Jones.
Jones makes the catch, he's not touched, bounces up, running at the left hash mark, lunges in. Jones 8 yards deep, brings it out of the end zone. Left hash mark 10, 15, 20, sheds the tackle, 30. He could, he will go all the way, Jacoby Jones.
San Francisco battled back.
Spins away, and Crabtree will take it in for a touchdown. Kaepernick going to roll to his left, trying to get down the sideline. Kaepernick running to the 10, to the 5, he's in.
In the end, a valiant goal line stand proved to be the difference.
Incomplete, and for a second time, the Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions of the world.
vote for Kelly Pickler? You voted for Kelly Pickler?
No, there's no way.
Come on.
I always said if
Check your
Kobe's
phone
not
record.
Next Saturday, the home finale for the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame taking on Brigham Young. 3:30 Eastern time right here on NBC. 5,280 feet up, are we? What does Coach Fox say? He says, I'm enjoying this at the moment. Up by 17. And just another touchback. 7:06 left. Kansas City down by 17s, trying to stay unbeaten.
Fox Sports proudly presents the NFL. This is the sport to share. This is the league to follow. This is the biggest show. The NFL on Fox Sports.
There's no event that brings more of America together than the Super Bowl.
Flacco lob down the middle. Touchdown! End zone touchdown! And the Hayes in the barn! The Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions!
Okay. Get to it.
Nice ball!
Oh, come on, catch it. Just catch it.
Back on the ball. I want to see it again. Get our head out of our. We're playing sloppy. Let's go.
Jesus. Jailbreak.
Damn, what are we doing?
Way too slow. Are you alive?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's go, dude.
Oh, man.
Come on, fellas. We got to start better than that.
It's got to get better.
Download NFL Mobile and get live premium content like Sunday Night Football on your smartphone. Call ** NFL to download or go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. Well, let's see if Kansas City can muster something and do it in a hurry. They start from the 20-yard line. 4 receivers go to the left, and you got action on the left side. You had movement in the slot by Donnie Avery. John Parrish had a busy night tonight. Had 15 accepted penalties in the game.
Delay game defense. Number 36, who was lined up within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, made an action that created the false start. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Kayvon Webster, and it forced Avery to move. Quarterback comparison tonight. Manning has not been on the ground. 314 yards for him. And for Alex Smith, taking his shots, had some chances, but tell you what, you go back to that Sherman fumble after the Denver turnover in the first quarter. That was a big play. 1st and 5. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Sean Phillips, longtime San Diego Charger, picked him up in free agency, and in his 10th year in the league, having a great year.
No doubt about it, Al. He was the guy when Von Miller was out, and they've got a little injury on John Asamoah coming off, but it was Phillips who came over, and without Von Miller, they really needed to have somebody step up and get some pressure. 7.5 sacks that he's been able to take the place basically of Elvis Dumerville, who left, of course, and it has 8.5 sacks now with the Ravens, or did coming in.
2nd and 5. And Smith will throw, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Dwayne Bowe covered there by Rogers Cromartie, 3rd and 5.
But I go back to the first quarter of this game, and you know, the first time they had the penalty right off the bat, the kind of nervous start, they dropped some balls, the fumble you talked about. I thought there was an opportunity for Kansas City in this one to really jump out and play even with the Broncos, and really that first quarter has been the difference in this one.
The first quarter ended with a 10-0 Denver margin. Third and 5 to try to keep the drive alive, and they do. Fasano makes the catch, so the tight end out to the 37-yard line to move the chains, and we're down to 6:45 left in regulation.
They're letting Jeff Schwartz, who's come in for Asamoah at right guard, off the hook. They are not pressuring him at all. I think I might try a blitz or two right over number 74 and see if I couldn't take advantage of this.
Chiefs 5 wide. Smith to the outside, and it's knocked away, intended for Bowe, and Quentin Jammer, the longtime Charger, is there in his 12th year in the league.
And it's Quentin Jammer that came up with the initial hit that caused the fumble on the outside here. He's been a good one for a long time for the Kansas City Chiefs, and hasn't gotten a lot of chances to play this year, but when he has, he's been able to take advantage of it. Good to have those kind of vets around late in the year for these big games.
John Elway, another veteran pickup. Jammer and Phillips, 2 longtime San Diego Chargers, both playing well here. 2nd down and 10. Smith guns it, caught to the 42-yard line. Donnie Avery, but a penalty.
And I thought somebody grabbed Avery just as he was making his break there.
Flag,
may have been Jammer.
Yeah, flag right along the sideline, right in front of the Kansas City bench.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 20, 15 yards from the end of the play. 1st and 10, Kansas City.
That's Mike Adams.
Mike Adams had a big role without Raheem Moore in there, and really he's done some nice things in man coverage.
And then Von Miller going off again here, back to the Denver sideline. That personal foul gives Kansas City a 1st down at the 28-yard line. Asamoah trying to work his way back out of the field.
I bet you Tom Brady's not suffering watching Von Miller on the sideline tonight.
Smith hanging in there. The pass a little high and incomplete. Going up for it, but unable to bring it in is Dwayne Bowe. 2nd down and 10.
Well, one thing that you notice, here we go, breaking on the in cut here, about Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs, they're much more comfortable throwing the ball inside some of these little skinny posts and balls to the tight end right over the middle than he is to the outside. He's not a big strong arm guy. He's a guy that has to sort of be able to see it, deliver it quickly, on time. That's his strength.
Smith completing less than 50% of his passes tonight. 16 of 36 on 2nd down and 10. Backing up, backing away, avoiding the sack. And then just has to throw it away. 3rd down and 10.
Well, obviously the right decision. The same discussion we just had about it being a 3-score game. You have to at least knock it down to a 2-score game, which potentially could involve a field goal as well. Although this would be a big stop if Denver's defense could come up with one, because then conceivably they'd get Peyton Manning on the bench the rest of the game, not have to risk him. And remember, it was in the last 2 minutes against San Diego he got hurt.
I think it's a 4-down situation here, down by 17. Miller's back on the field. It's 3rd down and 10 from the 28. And they jump up front, and the play is stopped. Malik Jackson and Robert Ayers both coming across the line. Smith clapping, indicating that it should be against the defense. Then again.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Ayers.
Robert Ayers, one of those guys that really was considered a bust as well, but he's come back now in kind of a backup role, but 4.5 sacks. And tell you, watching him on tape a week ago, he's got a little of his explosiveness back. They have some good depth. Sylvester Williams, their #1 overall pick this year, can't even get on the field.
That makes it 3rd down and 5. 4 receivers to the right, including Charles, who goes in motion. The pass is caught by McCluster, gets some blocking, and Dexter McCluster will take the ball to the 10-yard line. So a huge conversion. Adams makes the tackle. It's going to make it 1st down. And if they spot it at the 10-yard line, and they will, 1st and goal.
You can just see, just trying to get a little crowd going there. Kayvon Webster just couldn't get through to pick up McCluster, and this is really one of the better drives we've seen out of the Chiefs tonight.
Clock winding down to 5 minutes to play in the 4th. Smith, good protection, and the pass is caught, but does he come in inbounds? No. Anthony Fasano made the catch, but could not come down inbounds.
He got 1 foot down, and all he had to do is slam his heel down on the other one. This would have been a touchdown. He goes up, makes a tough catch. He's going to get 1 foot down. Now you got to take that back heel and slam it into the ground. Ooh, that's pretty close. That is
left down. Nope. The rest of them is out.
His hip hit that ground. That's a pretty interesting call. Andy Reid's going to say, let's take one look at that.
Certainly worth a challenge. As Andy throws the flag, they'll take a peek at it upstairs.
Kansas City has challenged the previous play. Incomplete pass versus the score.
Parry to the hood. Back after this.
Strippers Cars for Cash continues.
You better get down here a bit lively.
And there's some new surprises in store, starting with tougher challenges.
The noise of it is unbelievable.
And rougher climates. But top profit still means pole position, and there's all to play for.
Bosh, Holland, look at that.
The guys are back on the road in Strippers Cars for Cash on National Geographic Channel.
Whereabouts you based? Pardon? Where's that?
Over the top, got a man back there in the back of the end zone. It's Doug Baldwin. Touchdown! Pass is caught, Eric Decker. Touchdown, Denver Broncos. He's in. Touchdown, Houston.
A question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever take your hat off?
If you had hair like mine, you'd never take your hat off. I do on the trips. I try to limit exposure to the trips and the national anthem.
Hey, and it's a new day with new installs, so it's a foreign country to a lot of these young guys. They got no idea what they're doing.
Looking at this during the break, we think this is going to be a touchdown now because the shin or calf area goes down as well as the foot. Here's another look at Fasano in the end zone.
If the shin is down, the hip, any body part in there, the hip is down before anything goes out of bounds. You can see it pretty well from this angle here. There's space. The shin is down there. That's enough. The hip then follows, and the elbow is off the ground. Nothing out of bounds. That's a touchdown.
After reviewing the play, with clear possession, the left calf and the left hip landed in the end zone prior to the left elbow landing out of bounds to score.
So a great challenge by Reid. It works. 4:56. remaining in regulation, and with an extra point forthcoming, it'll be 27-17.
Catch a break, and now who knows? Kind of interesting. I think at this point you have to think onside kick, don't you? Even though you have all your timeouts remaining, going up against Peyton, kind of tough to assume you're going to get a 3-and-out. Decision time for Andy Reid.
Ryan Suckup to make it a 27-17 game. And he does. It's a very interesting call here for Reid. Do you onside kick it here? Dave Toub, the longtime Chicago Bears special teams coach, and he's one of the best in the league, and coming over and joining Andy Reid's staff this year.
I tell you, I do it. I go onside kick because it's a 10-point game. Even if you give up a field goal here, you're still within a 2-score game. If they score a touchdown, obviously it's going to be over. But you have to take all the shots you can to try and get back possession. This is a tough call, but I think I would go for it here and take a chance I could hold them to a field goal anyway.
Exactly what each of the special teams units are discussing right now. And in fact, some other guys may come in for Denver with the better hands, anticipating this onside kick. And they send only Holiday back, and the other 10 guys will come up near the 45-yard line.
Chiefs out in a balanced formation. Of course, you can't overload the way you used to, but you can sort of play it to one side. And a lot of teams in this situation like to do that little pooch kick right in front and make one guy make a play. They have a couple of guys right here in the center, so that one may be taken away here as well.
Got some receivers there as well. You got Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker are out there along the line for Denver. But Reid elects to kick it away and give Manning the ball at the 20-yard line.
Can't argue. It was one of those kind of decisions, but now pressure's on, and you've got the best offense and one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game, and you really need a 3-and-out. Of course, they've played to this defense all season long. Why not?
Great job by that offensive line for Denver tonight. You saw that Kansas City with 36 sacks. That's 4 a game, leading the league coming in. And Manning's barely been touched tonight. Hasn't been sacked at all. Comes up in the pistol on first down. Give it to Moreno, and he picks up 5 yards, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Wes Welker is back in the locker room being evaluated for concussion, Allen. For the Chiefs, right guard John Asamoah just went to the locker room. He's questionable with a calf.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Meanwhile, Kansas City has just taken a timeout here after a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The Denver Broncos, one of the original AFL teams, and their owner over the last 30 years, Pat Bowlen. And there he is before the game. 30th season as the owner and CEO of the team, acknowledging the crowd, and they acknowledged him because he picked up his 300th career win as an owner, regular and postseason combined, in their last outing, and that's a pretty good track record over 30 years. 2 Super Bowls along the way as well. On 2nd and 5, this is Moreno. And if Kansas City takes a timeout here, there's John Elway. It will be 3rd down, and they will. And this has got a huge play coming up. Offensive line here, Chris.
Yeah, this has been, in my mind, the difference in the game. Chris Clark, Orlando Franklin have done well enough against the best tandem of pass rushers in the NFL. Those 2 guys, Tamba Hali and Justin Houston, have been dominating all season long, but Chris Clark, the backup to Ryan Clady, has been good enough here tonight. I think he's played pretty well out.
No doubt. That defense needs to play very well on this particular play. This is huge. down to 1 timeout. 3rd and 4. Need to get the ball back in a hurry. Manning rolling. Throwing. Caught by Decker, but Decker's going to get forced out of bounds just short of the first down by Marcus Cooper.
Well, this is going to be interesting because he reached the ball towards that first down marker.
Spotted a half-yard shy.
And where did he go out of bounds? He's reaching the ball before he truly hits anything out of bounds. Let's take a look. Nothing's out of bounds, and that ball looks like it's across the 30.
Enough to overturn is the question. This is the perfect illustration of the phrase you've heard a million times: indisputable visual evidence.
And for John Fox,
it's challengeable. Del Rio will challenge it. So either it's going to be a first down, which would be huge, or a 4th down with the clock stopped because he went out of bounds, and Kansas City figures to get the ball back.
Forward progress spot in relationship to the line out of bounds.
Very interesting.
Well, really nothing to lose there.
It's just very difficult to overturn what the ruling is on the field when you look at it from that angle.
Well, there's no doubt that the ball is beyond that marker. It's just a matter of where it's considered out of bounds.
It's almost like a mosaic. I mean, you have to look at a couple of angles and figure it out, and very often that doesn't get overturned when you have to look at it from 3 different positions. One more look at it, but as I say, it's got to be indisputable. Where is it indisputable?
Well, there's nothing out of bounds at that point, and I think that's indisputable that the ball is beyond that line. Now, where does it end up out of bounds, and when does it count as being out of bounds, I guess is the question. I was told at one time is that there's like 2 different rules for where you mark the ball. One when you're running right along the boundary vertically, and another when you're coming at an angle. So this is an interesting call.
The whole thing is where the ball is when he's out of bounds. When he crosses the plane of the boundary, where is the ball?
Yeah, I think as long as he's in bounds and that ball is beyond that marker, this should be a first down. We'll see.
No, John Perry, there he is.
Receiver stuck the ball forward. The 30 and 1/4 yard line. It'll be first and 10.
The 30 and 1/4 yard line.
There you go. Jack Del Rio going with his gut. You know what was interesting about talking with Jack is how he was saying he made a phone call to Bruce Arians about being an interim coach. Remember that whole conversation?
Right.
And just said, I just wanted to double check and make sure I was doing everything right, and nearly everything he kind of had planned and was doing is exactly what Bruce Arians was telling him. Of course, had to fill in for Chuck Pagano in Indy.
He did a great job and led to the head coaching job that Bruce now has with the 6-4 Arizona Cardinals. First down to the 30-yard line, and now here's Moreno again. Kansas City is down to 1 timeout, and then they'll stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Then a little roughhousing ensues.
Now you got to stop if you're the Denver Broncos. You can't go back 15 yards. I don't care if the guy tomahawk chalked. You can't get a penalty here. John Fox with the clicker in his hand again.
Chiefs just used their final timeout.
It's been a good game. I tell you, I think this really sets up the rest of the season in this division as being very interesting. The Kansas City Chiefs, regardless of what happens out here tonight, have traveled into this stadium and put on a performance that really was just a few mistakes away from being a potential win here. I mean, I just go back to that first quarter where maybe the scene was a little too big for them at first, but a game that they're going to use going forward here.
Had their chances, no question about it. They go home next week again. They play San Diego in Kansas City, and Denver goes to New England, and then the two teams meet, Kansas City and Denver, and Kansas City in 2 weeks. So a long way from determining the 1 seed or the 5 seed.
This was a big day in the NFL today. A lot of big games, a lot of close games.
Ball start, offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Left guard Zane Beadles.
The Pro Bowler. We call Zane the Peyton Manning of the offensive line. Kind of keeps them all straight up there. But that one didn't help.
19 accepted penalties in the game, 11 against Denver. 2nd and 13. Manning's pass caught up the 31-yard line. That's Demarius Thomas. And that'll make it 3rd down and 9 for the Broncos.
Boy, that was tight coverage by Marcus Cooper on the outside, number 31. And in this situation, Peyton Manning can get that thing in there in the tightest of spots. Talking to Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator, he said, honestly, there are times I tell my defensive backs, I don't know what to tell you. It's just that good.
Manning taking that play clock all the way down. Trying to convert a 3rd and 8. Stepping away, throws, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Demarius Thomas. So that's a good break for Kansas City because the clock stops at 3:51 and they're going to get the ball back.
May have been the first time that ankle came into play a little bit. Good step up by Peyton Manning to get away from the pressure by Holland, but then just couldn't make this pivot and throw back going against the grain. I'm sure that really torqued that high ankle sprain, so the Chiefs are going to have a chance.
Fifth punt of the night for Britton Colquitt. His brother has punted 7 times. On the other side, McCluster from the 23-yard line. McCluster looking for room and then gets upended as he reaches the 30-yard line. Monte Ball makes the tackle. 3:38 remaining in the 4th.
Nobody ever talks about special teams, but the coverage units tonight on the punt coverage for the Denver Broncos has been sensational. It's just been sensational. That was a big opportunity. There was room there for Dexter McCluster.
No timeouts for KC. Of course, you're in a situation right now where you go either way here. Touchdown, field goal, preferable, of course. But if you have to go field goal, touchdown, whatever it takes. First things first. At least try to get into field goal range. Smith will throw, and reaching back for it and making the catch. Great catch was McCluster along the sideline. Rogers Cromartie right there with him.
That was amazing. See if he gets this other foot down. Sure does. What a fantastic catch that was against the best coverage guy of the Denver Broncos. Nice throw by Alex Smith, too.
And it stops the clock with 3:32 from the pistol. Fake to Charles. Smith, he's going to take off, and Alex Smith runs to the 45-yard line. Tackled there by Sean Phillips. They come up without a huddle. A little more than 3 minutes to play. It's 2nd down and 4. 4-man rush. Chase throws and just has to throw it away to make it 3rd down and 4.
Now that time flushed him out of the pocket. Sean Phillips one more time getting in there, and you could tell both these teams getting a little tired at this point. Offensive linemen standing up. Defensive linemen don't have quite the same pop. This has been an exhausting pace to this game.
This will be the 70th play of the night run by Kansas City.
Two backups on the right side now for this offensive line. Denver needs to recognize it and put some pressure on them.
Blitz coming. Pass has gotten away. It's incomplete. Dwayne Bowe, the intended receiver. Rogers Cromartie with the coverage. 4th down.
Well, Dwayne Bowe working against the best for the Broncos, and look at the speed. That's the difference. The makeup speed. Dominic Rogers Cromartie just simply much faster than Bowe is, and he was able to catch him despite the fact Bowe got early position.
4th and 4. Smith to the outside, too low, and the Broncos think they've intercepted it. It doesn't matter, though. Bruton may have come up with the ball, but regardless, the pass is incomplete at worst. And they turn the ball over on downs.
Well, they go right back to it here. Try to go back shoulder again, and Dominic Rogers Cromartie. I'm not so sure that ball ever did hit the ground, but really from the Broncos standpoint, they didn't want it anyway.
So Denver winds up with the ball at the 46-yard line. Manning will have to run 2 plays before the 2-minute warning in all likelihood, and unless this one takes more than 10 seconds, which it won't. And Moreno picks up 3. And it'll be 2nd down. So he'll have to run 1 more play, and then the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning, but a 10-point lead. As they look at Fisher on the sideline.
Yeah, and that's an interesting situation now. We see Fisher out of the game. We see Asamoah out of the game. 2 backups in. There are no more offensive linemen, but you've got to think moving forward, how are those guys coming out of this game?
15 straight regular season games, scoring 25 or more points. NFL record, the equivalent of almost 1 full season, and now you have a false start.
False start. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Joel Dreesen, the number 2 tight end.
Well, starting to get back to full strength a little bit for them. Getting Joel Dreesen back in there. I'm sure the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be disappointed with the result. But I think maybe this is one that they needed. You know, sometimes they say horse races, you needed that race. They may have needed this race.
Right.
They may have needed coming into this atmosphere.
And especially with the Arrowhead crowd and full throat in a couple of weeks when the Denver Broncos come into Kansas City. 2-minute warning in Denver with the score 27-17 Broncos.
In one season, Jones went from unappreciated receiver to bona fide celebrity, strutting his stuff on football's biggest stage and primetime TV.
It's like, you know, winning Dancing with the Stars. You have the right chain of events got to take place.
You're right.
And you got to be the best dancer, which you clearly were not.
No, and it showed.
But
I was the best male dancer.
You were, and you were the best athlete.
I was the best.
And I thought you were well, I like the 2 girls, though, too. I mean, if I was a normal fan, I might think you were the funnest and funniest and all that, but I know you, and it doesn't really do as much for me. Watching you do your thing on TV, I see it every day.
You see it every day.
Right.
Whether he's in front of an audience or back home with his mom in New Orleans, Jones is a born entertainer.
Okay. Get to it.
Nice ball.
Oh, come on, catch it. Just catch it.
The stars of the game, Bob, Tony, and Mike break it down, look at other news around the league, and we'll look ahead to Bronx Pats, and we go to Michelle right now.
Well, Chiefs right tackle Eric Fisher, Al, is doubtful with a shoulder injury. He'd been on the injury report week 1 with a shoulder. Not sure if this was related, but right now doubtful.
And there he is, the #1 overall pick in this spring's draft. And, of course, they go home after the game and spend the next couple of weeks at home. San Diego coming up next week, and then Denver right back in there. 3rd down and 12. And just concerned about chewing up at least 40 seconds. Moreno is right there. Peyton, as you look at right there, he's been kept very clean. You know, our man Andy Freeland just reminded me today's the 45th anniversary of the Heidi game.
Is that right?
On NBC. So don't touch that.
Don't touch that dial. You never know. That game kind of changed things in football, didn't it? It's like
and
nobody was allowed to leave any game whatsoever again.
Changed a few things in the broadcasting land as well. Britton Colquitt, they'll wait for the clock to go all the way down and take the timeout right here with 1:15 remaining. So Jack Del Rio is on his way to a second win in the stead of John Fox. And again, with John, we don't know exactly when Coach Fox can get back on the sideline. He hopes to get back to Denver in a week or a week and a half, and doctors will determine that. There's John Elway, of course, and you know, with Foxy, it's going to be tough to be back here and be living 5 minutes from the office and keep him away.
Yeah, well, that's what he was telling us, right? He was like, hey, I wanted to come back, and John Elway told me, no way, you stay put, because I know what's going to happen if you get within 5 minutes of the office. You're going to come in, and that's not in your best interest.
Nose down kick, and thus you get some nice little backspin on it.
Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, flag is down. That took 11 seconds. And the spot is the 13. And John Parry has spent a lot of time in your living room tonight. Wherever you watch the game. Very few people watch it in the living room. I don't always say that.
Yeah. Your iPad now.
Player out of bounds. Voluntarily. Kicking team. Left gunner. Kansas City has elected 5-yard penalty. Will re-kick. Replay 4th down.
And now Peyton Manning, one of the records that is in sight for him is most touchdown passes in a season. So he and Brady, in the year Brady had 50 to set the record, each had 33. But in game 10, Tom threw 5 to give him 38. Peyton with 1 tonight, 34. So he's on a pace right now where 34 through 10 games would get him right around that mark. Brady wound up in his last 6 games that year throwing only 12. So I think my money would be on Manning right now.
Yeah, the only statistic that matters tonight is that guy never got knocked down. And at this point in the season, another week of Peyton Manning not hurting that ankle just cannot be underestimated, the value of what's happened here tonight on that front, and get the win.
And a fair catch is called for at the 21-yard line. I think I would have declined the penalty if I was KC and gotten those 11 seconds back.
Yeah, you have to go fast at this point, obviously. And while maybe not a Hail Mary, something close to it, because you're going to have to complete a ball, get your team up, stop the clock, kick a field goal, get an onside kick, and throw a couple more Hail Marys. So there's a lot of work left to be done without any timeouts.
Smith tonight, 19 of 43, so well under 50%. Broncos pass defense has really steadied in the last few weeks. Pass out in the flat and even tackled inbounds is Jamal Charles to keep that clock going.
Well, that's a mistake.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
the
really,
thing
you don't think about it, but you almost have to throw a Hail Mary in that situation and take your chances.
Right.
At some point, it's got to go 50 yards, and you got to stop the clock and kick a field goal.
Instead, you got a pass that loses a yard. You're taking a ton of time off the clock. Smith running around.
Throw it.
Deep downfield and almost intercepted at the 45-yard line. Rogers Cromartie, who played for Andy Reid in Philadelphia, got another penalty marker down.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That'll be the 9th penalty on Kansas City tonight. 13 against Denver and 15 seconds remaining in the game.
It wasn't the kind of night they hoped for from the pass rushers of the Kansas City Chiefs. They were really hoping they got to knock Peyton Manning around and just never got that job done.
Broncos will go to 9-1, which means they will have won 20 of their last 21 regular season games. They only lost to Indianapolis. That's Sean Phillips right there to swallow up Charles, and that'll take us to the end of the game where the Denver Broncos never trailed and are tied for first place in the AFC West with Kansas City with a mark of 9 wins and 1 loss. 27-17, the Broncos win it, and coming up next, it'll be the Wendy's post-game report when we come back to Denver.